Alright guys, so here we are, episode number 4 of the Rocket Bunny series. I know it's coming along slowly but surely, and it's just because I'm a perfectionist. I like to take my time on things, and I want it to come out right. Okay, so last you saw on episode 3, I was working on the bumper cap. And so here it is. Voila. Now that I have the cap out in the car, I'll show you exactly where I'm at and what I'm talking about. So here it is. I am having the problem with these canards being in the way. I like them. They do add an aggressive look. Some people don't care for them. But all in all, like, they're getting in the way of my kit. My kit is far more important than canards. I can always figure something out later for those. So what I'm going to do is take those off, but not today. Just because I have to remove the entire bumper to take them off. So also with that, the reason why I'm not caring to take them off today is I want to have the fender flare bolted on, ready to rock and roll, with the fenders cut and everything, wheels pushed out, before I actually do the cap. And the reason being is because once it's bolted on and once I heat up to be nice and flat to the surface, it's going to tell me exactly where I need to start this cut. So I do like the design that I came up with. It flows with the actual fender flare and then comes down and follows this body line really nice. And I do want to keep this because that's like a traditional Rocket Bunny style. The only thing is I'm going to come and angle this and design this to where I'm not going to have to really pull it forward onto the bumper because it is a little shy now that everything's straightened out. I'm actually going to angle it so that way it goes maybe where this fender flare or fender like design starts. So I'm just going to cut there and let it flow with the body. I think that's my best bet. And then of course I have to go and fill in this crack and before I carbon fiber. But that's all going to be in the near future. I know it doesn't seem like I've done much to this little sucker, but this is like hours worth of work. I mean, of course you only see quick cuts and video clip edits and stuff. But in comparison, this is the original cap. So if you look at it, it's pretty angled. Like, it's got real nice curvature to it, like so. And if you go and you see how much I've actually had to flatten it out, big major difference. And so it takes a while to get here, especially because I don't want to heat the plastic up enough to where it'll start bubbling and melting. So it's a slow process to get to this point. I mean, if you see, there's major curves there, major curves there. You go and look at this one, nice and flat, very flat. And it's just because the Tc2 just has flatter body lines than the actual FRS. But that's what happens when you have to do these kind of deals. So I definitely need to get this caught up to this. So that way, when it is time, it's pretty much just going to be a quick, easy process. So today's episode, I'm working on the actual fender flare. Now, I know I already had the front end, which looks really cool in the pictures. I've gotten really good feedback from it. But the part that a lot of people are mixed motioned on is this back piece. Now, some people say it looks great having the dip on there and it goes cool with the Tc2. Me personally, I don't care for it. Like, it feels like I'm missing a vent or a blinker or something and it's not there. I don't care to put one on. I've looked at a couple of different ones that I could have used, but it just wasn't appealing to me. So I'm actually going to go, and this is just a kind of a rough draft design. It's just for me to get the idea of. But I'm actually going to go and continue the roundness and come all the way through to this body line here. And if you actually go and do a Google search, you'll see the Tc2 official Rocket Bunny kit. And theirs is actually nice and rounded. And it looks so good. And so that's one major design. The other design I've seen is the Skyline design. So the Skyline actually comes nice and rounded. And once it hits here, it has this real straight edge cut. So I'm going to look at them both, compare them, and see which one I want to go with. But I'm aiming more towards the round shape. And so I'm going to get that done today, along with starting to make the cuts on the driver's side. It's still untouched, still has the long section here, still has this ugly front design that doesn't go with the Tc2 at all. You see the difference? Round and really squared and angled and whatnot. And so I'm going to go and cut that off and also straighten this out and cut that like I did on this other one. And so that way both of them are pretty much ready to rock and roll. So that way on the next episode or the episode after that, I'm actually cutting up these fenders. I'm taking the leap and getting it done because I have faith and this kit looking really cool once it's all said and done. So enough talking, let's get to working. All right, so I'm sure some of y'all have wondered, how am I going to make it perfect? Or make the same cut and make it look the same? Well, my bright idea, and I hope I'm doing it right, but I'm pretty anal about all this stuff, so I think I should be good, is I kept the previous cut piece. So of course, all it is turning it around and placing it onto this one, and it actually fits, I mean, perfectly. All I got to do is bend it back. And so what I'm going to do is, with my trusty pencil, make the line, tape it up, cut it. Can't get any easier than that. Trace and cut, right? And so, if I look here, the rivet holes match up. So I'm just going to place it here, hold on to it, trace it out. Voila, it's done. So, you know, of course, like I said, measure 1,000 times, cut once, so you don't mess it up. So I'm just going to look at it a couple of times. If I have to redo it or touch it up a little bit, I will. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. I'm just going to redraw the line, put that back in there. Not like I need it, since this is only the second one, but you never know. So put it here. Just pretty much redraw the line just a little cleaner. So if anything, I'd rather cut up a little higher than lower, because remember, I still have to come through with a power sander and smooth it out, shape it up. But from what I can tell, still looks exactly the same. So I don't know if you can see the pencil line. Oh, there it is. All you're doing is just pretty much cutting off that top piece, but you're just following the angle. And so now it's time to tape up, bust out my little saw blade, and get to it. So what I'm going to do is get my piece, now that the tape's on, and just make sure that it all lines up the way I want it to. And it looks pretty legit. Looks like everything's getting cut the same. Just follow the tape. There we go. Okay, so there it is. It's cut. Only thing is it was hard to get this one section here to cut real smooth along the line. But I'm going to leave the tape on, throw the power sander up against it, pull the tape off, power sand everything, and it's ready to rock and roll. And then next is get this bad boy off. So here it is. Trusty power sander, everything at arm's reach. Alright, now that I got that dust full of crap in my face, it's late. Stuff happens. Kind of forget about the simple things. Alright, so peel off the tape and just smooth everything out. Looks good. There it is. Nice and round. So I need to straighten this bad boy out, cut that, and then what I'll do is I'll finally heat it, and after it's heated, make any additional like sanding shapes that I need, and then time to cut off the back. Now, of course, if you're good at fiberglassing is the way to go, I think. Just because you can always add on pieces, sand down, reshape. It is time consuming, but the only thing with fiberglassing, or the reason why I went ABS plastic, is because I've learned how to work with ABS plastic. I've learned that if I heat certain items, I can actually like still salvage it, bend it, use it. Where like with fiberglass, you can't really heat anything, bend it. What you actually have to do is cut it off and kind of start new. So that's why I went ABS plastic route. But like I said, you have to get used to it. I do have an ABS welder as well, just in case I did need to go and weld something on or add on plastic. If that's the case, you'll see me do that later. If not, you know what, if you have questions about it, you can always question through my Instagram. But all in all, let's heat this bad boy up. Don't forget your piece of wood. Helps you straighten it out without the ripples. Also helps prevent touching that hot plastic. Ooh, that's hot. At this point, get a shop towel. Straightening out. A little more. I think I should be good. Remember, I still have my other Fender flare here, so I can compare. Yep. It's coming out the same way. Just a little more heating. Yeah. So I've straightened it out, but the thing is I can't do the same concept where I trace the line on this one. And the reason being is that the shape's actually kind of different. I did save the plastic, but here it is. The tab is completely different. This one's intensely squared. This one was like kind of round. And so I'm okay. I'm not worried about it. What I'm just going to do is kind of look at how thin I have that one and kind of replicate the thinness, which I can pretty much vision the line in here. So I'm just going to redo that to this one. So get my trusty tape, make a line, cut it out. Simple. This is where I'm at. I finished the cut on the driver's side. Came out real nice and smooth as well, like so. And I've already sanded it. So this one's pretty much ready to go on the actual round shape, this piece. Now, I haven't cut off this piece just yet. And the reason being is I left the other extra cap like I've been doing, like tracing and cutting. I'm at home. So when I get home, I'm just going to trace it out on the back side and then just cut it off. So this one's done for now until I perfect the shaping of this one. So I've already worked on it over and over and over again. And this is the shape I'm coming up with. And of course, I feel like it's better to start higher and then take this chunk off. And then if I want to, I can angle it down to this line. So this top line is basically signifying the actual strong body line that comes here on the flare. So I ran it across. And originally I was going to start in that corner and go and shoot up. But I figured, let's start higher. And what I did was I broke out a ruler. And I measured from the starting point to this actual curvature of this flare. And so I'm like I said, I'm trying to stick pretty anal about all of this stuff, OCD. And so I ran here, 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 till about here. This is where I started going a little wider on the upper end. And the reason being is so that way it can come round and kind of flush in. And so I'm going to finish off, instead of coming and meeting at the point on the line, I decided to come up a little higher just to give it some more bite. And then also, like I said, if I want to bring it downwards, I can. So I'm pretty content on the shape that I came up with. Originally I got a pencil and just steadily drew a line on what I felt was a good angle. And then I went and checked my measuring points and then changed that curvature just a little bit. But all in all, this is where I feel like I'm set. Deep breath, because this is where it's going to get cut. Let's see how it turns out. Let's keep going. There it is, guys. It's been cut. It is now round. So it looks pretty smooth. I have one small little dip here, but that's something I know with the power sander I can fix. And a little spot right here, but no big deal. Thing is I officially made the cut. And so, no turning back. The piece is off. So from this to this. And so, I feel that it would just fit this line better. And what I'll do right now is I'll tape it up so you can see. Because these dogs are going crazy. So anyhow, it's cut. I think it looks good. Of course, I still need to cut this back piece to the door perfectly once I take off the fender. But all in all, I think it looks good. Let me tape it up and show you all the difference. So here it is. Alright, so here it is from the front. Wrapping around. Coming down to the back. Trying to stand afar. I think it looks pretty good. I don't know, tell me what you think. Leave a message down below. Hit me up on my Instagram. So there it is. All right, guys. It is 1:30. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I mean, I still have to clean up the garage and put away all the tools and parts. I'm showing a comparison and how different they've come along. So this is the untouched driver's side. Well, it's touched. I already cut off this front piece, so it's missing that strong sharp section. I still haven't cut off that last piece, but I'll get that done today. And this is the cap I haven't even messed with. And then here is, it's just for comparison so you can see the difference. So here's the one that I have altered, the cap. I still need to cut here, but like I said, I want to bolt this on first. And how it rounds off, and how much shorter it is, and how like this design has completely changed and been taken away. So it's gonna look more like the Rocket Bunny kit that's like a rendering that you see online if you do a Google search. So it's cooler. And this is how the caps end up coming out when you sit them pretty much side by side. So you can see how different they are. So the shape here has obviously been flattened out. And then here you can tell it's also been flattened out. Big difference in shape. So it's coming along and I'm pretty happy with it. And that's that. Alright guys, so if you're not subscribed, help support, you know, continue watching, hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Make some comments down below, and if you want to talk about where I'm at in the project, or you want to see like the extra little like insides, you know, follow me on my Instagram, and you know, let me know what you think, you know. And if you like what you see, or if you don't like, just go ahead and comment, you know. And biggest thing is hit subscribe. And no, for Volkswagen fans out there like me, I know it says it's a 1969 van. It's not. It's like a 70 some odd model. 69 had the blinkers down here. Anyhow, it's something else to talk about another time. So anyhow, hit like, hit subscribe, and continue following as I continue to cut and mold and heat and all that other good stuff. You guys take it easy. Thanks for watching.